Minasan, konnichiwa. Hello everyone, and today we're going to talk about how you can survive the winter in Japan. It's gotten really cold here in Japan, especially even in Tokyo, getting to about 0 degrees Celsius. So first things first, going to make a nice hot drink, whether that's going to be tea or coffee, obviously. Once that's ready, start to prepare for my day with my other favorite item, my kotatsu. A kotatsu is a Japanese heated table. They used to do it more with coal underneath the table way back in the day. Now it's electrical tables that you heat that has a separate tabletop so that you can put a blanket between the bench of the table as well as the tabletop. And you can adjust the temperature to your liking. Just having to make sure that the blankets are put out on the outside, not getting too close to the heater. And along with sitting with the kotatsu, we have the daisu, which is the shape of a basically chair on the floor, and it has cushions on it that we call zabuton. So sitting with this on the floor is actually rather quite comfortable. Even without the aircon, it actually feels really quite comfortable, especially on a sunny day. The next thing is, which is very important in winter, is it gets really dry in winter. So we have humidifiers. And with this humidifier, it's a little bit special. It has a monitor that checks the temperature as well as the percentage of the humidity. And when it gets too low, you can set it to go off when it needs to humidify the room. When it gets a high enough humidity, it will shut off. But especially from this month in February, it's gotten really dry, so I'm having to fill it more often. And we just fill it with regular water. And once it gives me the green light, I know it's good to go. What's also nice about this one is it has a little trap on it that I can put my essential oils if I'd like. So I use my essential oils from the Japan store Muji. And once the room gets too warm, I shut off the aircon. I try to let as much sunlight in as possible so that it can heat the room more naturally. Another thing that is really good in winter is since in the southern areas of Japan, including Tokyo, the windows have one pane. So in order to make sure the cold doesn't get in as much, we use this kind of like cardboard plastic sheets, and I layer them up against the sliding glass door in order to not let any more cold air come in. And it does quite well. If you put your hand in the room, it feels quite different than saying putting it on the outside of the plastic sheet near the window. But on sunny days, like I said, I try to get as much sunlight in as possible. So I put them aside so that I can get that natural light and heating in the room. And I'm able to slide it behind another piece of furniture out of the way. And at the end of the day, I'm able to put it back and just close the curtains around it. Another really good thing is using temporary heat packs. You can use this inside and outside. They come in all shapes and sizes as well as lengths of times that you can be able to use them, even for inserts into shoes or even attached to your socks. I prefer the insole or inserts. I only use the big long ones when it's really cold and I know I'm going to be outside for a long time. But usually I tend to use the half-size ones because I know my toes tend to get really cold. But you also notice that they have different wording on it. This one says haru, which this is to stick onto clothing, while the other one says haranai, which means not to stick. So that's something also to keep in mind when you're trying to choose the right one. And you don't want to sleep with these or have it with other heat sources next to your body. It could be too risky. But I really like to use the stick-on ones that you put on thin layers of clothing underneath. And just to demonstrate with the inserts, since I'm not opening the package right now, usually what I do, say for example, able to use it for actually 2 hours, I put them in little Ziploc bags, and if you use it within a week, it should still be able to work the rest of the time remained. Also, what every Japanese person seems to have in Japan is the Japanese clothing store Uniqlo Heat Tech. It's just really thin layers of clothing that you wear underneath your clothes just to give that little extra warmth. They're really quite thin, but you can find the type of camisole or shirts or long sleeve shirts if you like, and they do have a few varieties of colors. Even the leggings are really good. But recently I realized it's been really cold, so I got the thickest one they got, and it's really quite comfy. And another thing you can't forget is having nice, warm, comforting food. And even though you eat rice every day in Japan practically, not only just with rice, and unfortunately, yes, I do not have a regular rice maker, but I do love my rice pot because I feel like it does cook it way better and more healthy to use than, say, the modern electric rice cookers. But Japanese really do like soups as well. I mean, you can get the modern day Japanese kind of twist of soups or Western styles of soups, but nothing beats Japanese miso soup or all kinds of hot pots we call nabe in Japan. So here's a variety of types of hot pots I've either made or have had with others. Then when it's bath time, it can get really actually cold around the bathroom. So I have this standing heater that was given to me from a family member, and just to kind of heat, even it's a small room, so I'm not freezing as I'm changing clothes and getting into the bath. And you can't beat a Japanese bath. It's nice and deep, so you can get nice and soaked into and get it to the nice temperature. And sometimes you can even cover it to make sure that the heat does not escape. And of course, you don't have to just do a bath in your own home. You can go to the public baths around town sometimes. You can find small ones or even more private hot springs to go to, especially just to kind of feel like a little getaway, whether you're just doing it for an hour or for the day. You can put bath salts into the bath as well, and then even afterwards being able to put a nice hot eye mask to soothe your eyes, especially after working in front of a computer all day. And don't forget a nice hot sake. And of course, at the end of the day, you get into your nice cozy futon, which I have set up for winter with a heavy blanket and down blanket inserted as well. So, these are just some of the items that you can use in Japan in order to make your stay or life in Japan more comfortable through the winter. What did you think? Any of these items do you think that you would use if you were in Japan? Please let me know in the comments below, especially if you have any other questions. 最後まで見てくれてありがとうございました。また次回の動画で会いましょう。Thanks for watching till the end, and we'll see you in the next video.